Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo.
On this episode of the History of the Chorus podcast with Curtis and Josh, we take a look at the band from Tampa, Florida, known as From First to Last. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IsSurvivedByPro for news and latest episode postings. And make sure to subscribe to the show, leave us a 5-star review, and write us a comment on YouTube or whatever podcast service you're using. Make sure to check us out on TikTok and give us a follow at IsSurvivedByProductions. And if you'd like to see us do some live streams, leave us a comment or tweet us the keyword stream. Now, without further ado, let's start this show.
The devil is in Atlanta, army surrounded.
Two roads split off from here, and my life goes running in opposite directions, exaggerating the barrier between who I am and who I want to be. Welcome back to the History of the Chorus podcast, sponsored by the Church of the Seventh Track, where each and every episode we are taking a look at the history of a band from the core genre. I'm Curtis, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Josh. Josh, what up?
Oh, not much. Let me just real quick here.
Yeah, not as good.
Now, it was better the
It was a little
first time.
slow. Oh, I guess I didn't see it the first time.
No, the first time I did that, it was several episodes ago. I managed to throw him off perfectly.
You should have waited for like a big surprise moment. You're like, what? What? Say that again. Yeah. What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. Spent most of my day steeped in Coheed and Cambria lore.
Do you have like the books, the comics?
I don't.
Oh, okay. So you just like looking up online?
Yeah, and it's like a Coheed and Cambria wiki called The
Oh,
Fence.
okay. Okay.
And yeah, there's a lot of work being put in over there.
A little too much going on.
A lot going on.
Maybe too much.
Yeah, I've
Well,
come
Josh,
back. I've come back full force.
maybe okay.
I really had like gotten burned out on them. Hadn't listened to them very much the last year or two, and something about sitting down and listening to Silent Earth all the way through. Did you get to finish it yet?
I don't know. We'll have to figure it out, Josh. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh my God.
We're just gonna have to wait and see. Before we do, Josh, we had a couple of brand new episodes of the History of the Chorus After Hours podcast come out the last 2 weeks. If you're not familiar with the History of the Chorus After Hours podcast, it's where I sit down with my good friend and avid listener of this very podcast right here, Eric, and we discuss some of the bands me and Josh have already talked about more in kind of a chilled out, relaxed setting. More of just kind of getting an interview from a listener, like I said, of this very podcast. So if you'd like a little preview, a little taste, a little free sample on a toothpick, free sample, here's one for you right now. The music, it's like, man, because he still comes in solid. He never, on any of these albums, in my opinion at least, he's never the downside of it. The electronic drums on a different hand is another thing.
Yeah. How did Josh put it? He is always an 11 out of 10.
Yeah,
Just
11 out of 10, 20 out of
ferocious-
10. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean he's always at the top of
absolutely.
his game, no matter what. No matter what is thrown at him, the situation, whatever. He's conquering it. And so that was always amazing to me for him to just like come in and be like, all right, I got this much time to record. It's like, well, here's some lyrics. Let me listen to music and da 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 da. Okay, yeah, let's do it. It's a testament to how good he is as a vocalist. Well, wasn't that crazy?
That episode was almost as long as the original episode.
Yeah, and there was 4 parts of our Zayo series. We had to cram it all into one fun time episode. So yeah, we were pretty exhausted after that one, but it was good. We enjoyed it. So,
I'm
alrighty,
glad we brought
Josh.
somebody else into the cult of Zayo.
All hail Zayo.
And I don't have
All
anything
hail.
to
What's the
say
Zayo?
about the After Hours episodes other than I've noticed that the two of you say, I seen them an insane amount. Instead of
That
I
you
saw
have, or
no, that you and Eric say that instead of I saw them, you both always say I seen them. And the first time I
ah,
heard it, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, whatever.
but now
But then
this is
I
just
did hear
annoying.
it many more times from both of you in like the same episode.
I've seen that. I've seen
Like,
that.
oh my God. No, it was I. No, it was or I
I
seen
have seen.
them.
I've seen them.
No, I seen them.
But what was the context though? I don't even remember that.
Like talking about different bands or
Like seen them like in concert or
yes.
oh okay. I've seen them, Josh. I've seen them. These eyes have seen them.
But yeah, it was just one of those things in my brain where it was just like, oh, I can't compute it. I was like, it's either I've seen them or I saw them.
Huh. Grammar police. Thank you.
No, like I said, when I heard it one time, I was like, oh, whatever.
Oh,
But then
whatever.
I did hear it many more times from both of you, not just Eric.
English is not the
Uh,
best for us, so as you can tell. As you can tell through 54 episodes so far of the History of the Chorus podcast, English no good.
And
Words, they're no good with me.
I also needed to tell you that you murder face to
You
face.
murdered. No, you.
You,
You
you.
murdered. No, you have. You've murdered. Yeah.
I feel like we all
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
exactly the same way about Symphony of Peril. Like listening to all three of us talk about their stuff, it was like, yeah, I like these same songs. I like this album over the
It's
other
a
one.
pattern. There's a
Like,
pattern.
yeah, but there's so little to work with, you
Right,
know.
exactly. What are you supposed to do? Wait till you
If a
see the
band,
Handshake Murders episode.
right, if a band only has one album, and yeah, obviously that's everyone's favorite.
All right, Eric, let me know what your favorite Handshake Murders episode or album is. What is Usurper? What?
Maybe he
Yeah.
prefers the one that they did before that, that was like the demos for Usurper, basically.
Oh my gosh, yeah, essays, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference? It's the same thing. They
It's
all
so
show
much
up
more
on
raw.
Usurper.
It's just so much
Right.
more raw, bro.
Alrighty, Josh, let's talk a little bit about what we listened to the past week or two. Would you like to start?
Sure.
No, he would not. I can just see it all over his face. You can't see it if you're listening, but I can.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
So over
It's
here on the
nasty.
right, I went back to one of my favorite Suicide Silence albums. It probably is my favorite one. The Cleansing's really good too, but No Time to Bleed was just so brutal. Did you ever listen to this one?
Mm.
Okay, this is still Mitch Luker years.
I assumed.
So yeah, I refuse to listen to them
Yeah, I
after that.
assumed it was Mitch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Mitch for the cleansing, no time to bleed, and you can see the album cover in my head. The one after this.
Right there.
Black Crown, maybe? Yeah, I think it's Black Crown.
Okay.
But yeah, this one is just so brutal. It's got Disengage. I don't know if you've ever heard that song.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard that one. Maybe the name at least
Okay,
sounds familiar.
that's the song that ends the album.
Okay.
So probably one of the strongest closes to an album that I can think
Okay.
of. That's just
Okay.
so gritty.
Get that
But
stank
yeah,
face
that's
on it.
just oh yeah, oh yeah. But that's just one of my longtime favorite albums. I haven't listened to it in probably 2 or 3 years, at least all the way through. So Went back to that one.
Yeah.
And then I decided to also give one of my least favorite Coheed and Cambria albums another shot.
Okay.
This is this is No World for
Mm,
Tomorrow.
okay. Yep. Yep. That's after. Is that after Good Apollo? No, it's two after
Yes,
Good Apollo, isn't it?
it's one after Good Apollo.
So, are you saying it's the one after Good Apollo?
Yes.
But isn't there two parts to Good Apollo? I thought there was two albums that
Only
were Good Apollo.
no, only in the like comic book. I think there's supposed to be part one is supposed to be Good Apollo, and part two is supposed to be No World for Tomorrow.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of then. Okay. Okay.
But yeah, the albums go Second Stage, Silent Earth, Good Apollo, then No World for Tomorrow. Um, but yeah, I've listened to this album many times over the years. It just didn't hit me as well in the beginning whenever I was first like really into Coheed.
Mhm.
It was like going from Silent Earth and Good Apollo to No World for Tomorrow. There's just a really different feel to the whole thing. Are you learning over there? What's happening?
I was just kind of confused by something on Spotify, but I'm good now. Do 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 do.
But I did feel a lot better about it this time around,
Okay,
which
so you're
I'm
starting
gonna,
to come around.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely Silent Earth and Good Apollo are the best albums. It's just so strong through both of those. And then coming off of the Willing Well like series to try to start No World for Tomorrow, I feel like story wise, it's still just as strong, but I think I mentioned to you that it feels like they do some weird stuff with production and it feels a little bit more hollow than the other two albums.
Okay, okay.
Lineup's still the same.
I was about to say, what's the lineup looking like then?
Same. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Hmm. What about I'll save it. I'll save it for here in a second.
okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's making me want to give Year of the Black Rainbow another shot too, because that was
Okay.
another one after that that I wasn't too big on.
What's the one that's just a one-off?
That was their most recent one, I believe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, because Afterman and Year of the Black Rainbow are both
Like prequels, right?
before the story. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I think their most recent
Nice.
one was the only one they've ever done that was a one-off.
Okay. Cool. All right.
What did you listen to?
I'm gonna tell you, Josh. I'll be honest with you. It wasn't Coheed.
No,
I'm sorry, buddy. It was
that's
Coheed.
oh, okay, cool.
Ah! See, that would
Whoa,
have been the time for you to be like, oh.
what?
No, yep, in keeping secrets of Silent Earth. Shh. It was
It's a
good, man.
secret.
It was good. Oh,
Where? Okay,
shoot, I want
so
to turn that off.
did you
Go ahead.
start? Did you start it over, or did you pick up where you left off?
No, I started over because it was a
Okay.
little bit, it had been a little bit, and so I was like, well, I'm just gonna restart again.
Okay.
Um, really good start. There's one part that kind of slows down. It's a good album overall, but there's one part that kind of slows down to me, and it's the three-part series of the camper, how do you say that?
Valerium.
Valerium. Yeah, I don't
Valerium.
know why, but it just kind of started to kind of drag there. It felt like. I don't know why.
Okay.
But it picked back up on Favorite House Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely after listening to it all the way through, I still go back to the title track and Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth. That's probably my favorite, man.
It's a strong one.
It's a strong one. Of course, the crowing. What was the one? What's the one that does the I can't remember which song it was. It may have been Blood Red Summer. It's the one that does the cuckoo cuckoo and like the chorus part, like the
Yeah, I
background vocals.
believe that's Blood Red
It was
Summer.
a Blood Red Summer. Yeah, that one got me when I first heard that. I was like, no, no. um, Yeah, it's a good album overall. I was gonna ask you because I'm kind of interested. That's their sophomore album. What do you think of um what's it called? What's their first one called? Second Stage
Second
Turbine?
stage.
Yeah, what do you think about that one?
I do like it. It's very raw, and I feel like he hadn't really gotten all the pieces together yet for how he wanted to do this
Story wise?
story wise, and
Okay.
like putting the music to the story.
Okay.
And yeah, I just feel like he was still working a lot of stuff out.
How's his vocals?
They're okay. They are
The
pretty
one
raw.
the one thing I'm worried about listening to it on Spotify now is it says it's a reissue. It doesn't look like they have like an original version. So I'm wondering maybe if that's like amped up like production wise. You know what I mean?
I
Like
just
I don't
listened to
want you to
part
do
of it
that.
earlier today. It sounded the same to me.
Okay. Maybe it's just they kept it the
So,
same, but they just reissued then. Okay. Which I
yeah.
guess, yeah, I guess if it was it would have said remastered. I didn't think about that, but okay. Yeah, I was kind
Um,
of curious because I I think there's if you go, I mean, if you know me at all or you listen to a bunch of the episodes on this podcast, it's like I seem well, you probably are the same way too, actually, but I tend to lean more towards like the first couple albums of a band
mhm.
because of the rawness and you know the minimalist approach production wise, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm always kind of curious about, well, I don't want it to be like too raw where it's just like, oh, this is terrible to listen to, man, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be like, their fifth or sixth album. And I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I look at like the album artwork for their newer stuff, and I'm like, this just like almost screams like electronic stuff,
Right.
like Dark Sensor, Vaxis, is it Vaxis 2?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, some of that like artwork is like, oh boy, this looks a little too futuristic digital kind of. I mean, I could be wrong, but um I'm interested by this, the color before the sun. It's kind of interesting artwork. Uh,
Camper Valorium 1 was the song you were thinking of with the Cuckoo Cachoos.
oh, does that have that? Okay, okay, okay. I was one off. Yeah, that one threw me. I think it's the next two though that it's. I guess because it just kind of gets like overdone, where it's kind of the same stuff, but it's like a second and third part. It's like, oh, is this song over yet? But like I said, not a bad album overall. It's just it kind of started to drag there in that middle part with those songs, but then pick back up at Favorite House Atlantic. Um. Oh no, never mind. I answered my own question earlier. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else on Coheed. I mean, I told you I did look at like at least the foundation of what the story is. I didn't go like too deep into like, oh, what's this album about or what's this one about. And it was interesting, but it did feel like, okay, this is about to be like almost too much and overwhelming. I'm gonna have to take it in like very small spoonfuls.
Hmm.
So, but
It's a
I'm
lot.
interested in it. I'm interested in it though. So,
It seems like essentially, there's this overshadowing empire government,
yeah.
that's called Heaven's Fence
Mhm.
or just the Fence. Um, and they control these different galaxies and stuff. I don't know what's going on. They have an army and they keep everybody under their heel.
You've lost control. Well, here's the thing
And
about it. You know it will be bad when they start saying there's different what did Marvel do? The um God,
oh,
where's the you know what I mean?
like infinite
Yeah,
universes,
the infinite
like
universe
parallel
is like, all
universes.
right, all right, this
Yeah.
is done. Pull the plug, it's over.
Yeah. I mean, really,
There's
it's
another
just,
fence.
really, it's just. I mean, from what I can tell, the story, which is about the Kilgannons and the fence,
Mm,
and then there's also the story of the guy who was writing all of
right, the
this.
narrator, yeah.
Yeah, and because that guy's crazy, they seem to coincide sometimes because he sees like some of these characters as like real people from time to time.
Right.
And yeah, so what were some of your favorite tracks on the album?
Well, like I said, the title track was good.
Mm-hmm.
The Crowing, Blood Red
Mm-hmm.
Summer was good too. Favor House
Okay.
Atlantic. I did like dang it, where's it at? The sorry, I had closed my Spotify, so I had the track list up. Yeah, the finale 2113. That was good too.
Did you
I
get all the way through Light in the Glass?
I did, yeah.
Okay, I was like, because it really comes back hard, like at about like 5 minutes.
Right.
Um, and
Almost
that's
kind of
where it
like
like
go ahead.
takes a turn, you
Oh,
know?
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of see, I told you, I think I told you before on when I first started listening to this album, and I just kind of in the background, and that the title track really threw me when it ended, like with like what 2 minutes left or whatever. It kind of died down. I thought, oh, the song's over, and then it starts going into that riff again, that down, 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 down. I was like, oh wait, and then it picks up again. It's like, oh shoot, I do enjoy stuff like that. Um, the other thing I was going to say was this is one of those bands that I would almost be kind of interested to see them do like an instrumental album. Just like we're going in, we're going to do this is what we're doing. Not like a Fall of Troy thing where it's like, okay, one, okay, 2.0 instrumentals, 3.0, da 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 da. You know what I mean? Huh?
Yes.
What? Could you speak into the microphone, please?
How do you feel about their, especially like in these series, like so for Silent Earth, it's Camper Valorium, how it's really like three or four songs in one, like for each of those. Like, do you feel that with completely different style changes and time changes?
I guess I didn't really notice that. I mean, may have to go back through again with that in mind. What's some of the other ones on these albums, on some of their other albums?
On Good Apollo, it's the Willing Well.
Okay.
And the Willing Well really kicks it up another notch because yeah, they feel like it doesn't feel as blatant in Camper Valorium, but you can really tell in the Willing Well series. Like you could have cut that up and that could have been like four separate, three or four separate songs for every one of those songs.
Right. Is it just on No World for Tomorrow? Is it just the last whatever 5 tracks, I guess? Don't really
Um,
have a name to it, but they have the numerals.
I'm not
Fall
sure.
of well, it says one, Fall of House Atlantic, two, Radio Bye Bye, three, The Incomplete, so on and so forth. Uh,
Yeah, that one I'm not as familiar with.
how about that Glitch Mob remix, bro?
I don't know anything about that.
What the heck? A remix? Is it a what? Hold on a second. I gotta check this out.
We we should
Oh
stop this.
God.
I could sit here and talk about Coheed Cambria all day.
The Sean Crahan remix of Welcome Home. His is entitled Clowns Welcome Home.
Oh my God.
What the heck? I mean, it's I mean, there's a little bit of mix to it, but I was expecting like dubstep or something like that. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, let's move on. We got another band to talk about. Trust me, there's coming a day, I'm sure very soon, where we're probably going to do the 6 or 7 part Coheed and Cambria. Oh my gosh. You remember the
That would be a
time?
long one.
Well, I was gonna say, do you remember the time where we dreaded doing Zayo? That Coheed's gonna make them look like nothing. It's gonna make it
Yeah,
look like a cakewalk, bro. Okay, shall we carry on?
let's carry on.
All right, Josh, let's talk about a little band some may have heard of. Yes, we're talking about the band known as From First to Last. They are categorized in the genre of post-hardcore, emo, screamo, and alternative rock. What was the first time you got to listen to From First to Last, Josh?
Um, I got a burned copy of Dear Diary
Dear
from our
Diary.
neighbor.
Really? Okay. Didn't
Yep.
know that. Thank you, neighbor.
Yeah, I
See,
got a burned
Mr. Rogers taught
copy
us some good stuff.
of Fever You Can't Sweat Out from Panic at the Disco,
Mhm.
Dear Diary from First to Last, and I want to say it was Dream to Make Believe from
Oh, wow.
Armor for
Armor.
Sleep. So,
Nice. Have you ever seen From First to Last in concert?
no.
Dang.
No, because the let's see, Heroin was 2006.
I believe so. Yeah. Six.
Yeah,
Because
so no.
Diary is what, four? Yeah. And then six. Yeah.
And they never came anywhere near here.
Yeah. And I didn't think so.
So,
Nobody likes us. Alrighty. Formed in 1999 in Tampa, Florida, by friends Matt Good, Scott Eward, and Michael Blanchard. Just remember one of those names because the other two, they're bums. They get kicked out pretty quick. You
Matt Goodman
bums.
will stand the test of time.
Matt Good.
Yeah,
Who's Goodman?
he's a good man.
He's a good man. The
Matt
band,
Goodman.
Matt Good man, comma, man. The band was originally named First to Last. Did you know that, Josh?
No.
Oh, I blew your mind.
Whoa.
Rip those shades off. What?
Uh?
Oh, yeah. They were originally named First to Last, as 2 years after its conception, the group would settle on the name From First to Last. It's got a better ring to it. Way better than, hey guys, we're first to last.
Yeah.
What? Boo. The band would quickly begin to write and soon after release the Silent Treatment demo in 2000. But like most bands starting out from first to last, would cycle through several member changes, leading to the project being shelved for the time being. As in 2002, founding member Matt Good would join the grindcore band Skeleton Slaughter versus Fetus Destroyer. Rate that name for me, Josh, out of 10. 1 out of 10. 10 being the best. Skeleton Slaughter
Mm,
versus Fetus Destroyer.
I kind of think it's dumb, but at the same time, like, I also think it's kind of cool. I'll have to go five since I'm so in the middle.
Alrighty. They ended up changing that
It's
name later on
it's
to
no
Color of
pianos become the
Violence.
teeth.
I mean, nobody is, buddy. Nobody is.
Nobody's gonna beat that. That's the
Yeah.
bar.
In this band, Good would meet and later recruit Travis Richer, Joey Antillion, and Derek Bloom to join from first to last, while also gaining vocalist Philip Reardon to round out the group. Here's one thing I didn't realize. I knew that Philip was the first vocalist. I didn't realize that they've had three vocalists. There's a third one that comes in on the last album in their discography. Did you know that?
Because didn't they bring Philip back after they?
No. No, he's only on one album. It's this upcoming EP here.
So who does vocals on the self-titled and Thrown to the Wolves?
Just Matt Good. He does leads.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
then once they get to Dead Trees, they actually recruit a new lead vocalist. And Matt steps back again to do just kind of like backing vocals.
Okay. Well, they've had four
Just
vocalists then. I mean,
yeah,
if he's doing it for two
that's
whole
true. That's
albums,
true. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Uh, yeah. But anyway, I just didn't know if you knew that or not, but I didn't. So I'll confess, I didn't know.
I didn't know. No,
I
dude,
didn't know.
I kind of stopped caring about them, especially
Yeah,
after
once
Sonny
Sonny
Moore
left.
left.
Yeah,
And also just like I feel like that was about the time I was just getting into a lot of other stuff.
right. Yeah,
So
I agree. With a full lineup again, the band was ready to bust on the scene with their first EP, 2003's Aesthetic EP from Four Leaf Records. Produced by Lee Dias, who has done work with Evergreen Terrace, Mayday Parade, I Set My Friends on Fire, and so many others. This is the only album for vocalist Philip Reardon and bassist Joey Antillion. Originally, Josh, the pressings of this album have the band's old name First to Last, while newer pressings later on replace it with the new name From First to Last. Josh, let's hear from our old friend, Fat Brendan from punknews.org, who wrote in a review on the early music sample saying, quote, "This is a type of music that is hard to explain. It's fun, it's edgy, it's hardcore, it's poppy. It's almost everything that the punk world is all wrapped in one." Now, the question is whether or not this works. Well, in my opinion, it does, and it doesn't. Some songs, like the killer first track, Such a Tragedy, it works amazingly well. The poppiness meeting the screams and the somewhat high pitched vocals that seem way too overdone as of late all mesh very well. But this doesn't work for them throughout the entire album. For the Taking is an example of this not working for them. It's not a crappy song, it just seems lackluster compared to the caliber. Your glasses. Compared to the caliber and energy of the first song. The harmonies are cliche and the production seems lacking as well, and is too long for the lack of energy and disappointing thought put into the song. Regrets and Romance is a solid effort and changes paces very well. However, the transitions from screaming to singing in some parts need to be polished. When Flying Lee Feels Like Falling picks up where the opening track left off and uses an effective layering with background screaming and puts the singer more at the forefront. The final two songs are action packed with catchy harmonies and enough hooks to catch a 20-pound, insert big fish name here. In fact, My Heart, My Hands might very well be the best written song on this album, with its nice hardcore breakdowns and heavy guitars. These Florida boys have created a formula that can work for them. They need to harness what they've started and work with the good and throw out the bad. With their recent signing to Epitaph Records, we can expect big things from First to Last. Songs on the EP include Such a Tragedy, the interlude track, dot, dot, dot. For the Taking, Regrets and Romance, When Flying Feels Like Falling, Ultimatums for Egos, and the finale, My Heart, Your Hands. What do you think of their debut EP, Josh, with the OG vocalist, Philip Reardon?
most of this just kind of sounds the same to me.
I
And
agree.
this also musically feels exactly like Senses Fail, like one of their
Okay.
like first couple albums.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually wanted to see like which one came first.
I think Buried Alive was 2004, I think. I don't know
Um,
is
well,
that their debut?
it's Let It Enfold You.
Okay, or oh, that's the name of the
Buried
album?
Alive was
Was the song on there, right?
yeah,
It's
the big
it's
one
been
off
a
there.
yeah, I was say it's been a while since I've listened to that. And that was a good album overall. It's been a
From the
while.
Depths of Dreams was their um first album. That was 2003, Senses Fail. So
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
to that,
Yeah.
yeah, and then Let It Unfold You was 2004.
Yeah.
So
That album artwork on Let It Unfold You.
so good.
That was good. So
They
good,
have some
man.
crazy album artwork, dude.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and listen to that album. That's been a long time. That was a good one.
Um, this one's okay. You know, there's not really any standouts on here. I think My Heart Your Hands was featured on was it Taste of Chaos or
One of those samplers.
one of those, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Um, but yeah, I just kind of so. I mean, the biggest thing about From First to Last that worked, I think, was that combination of Sonny and Matt. You know,
Yes.
I feel like Matt can still kind of pull it off on his own, in some of the
But
later
it's
stuff.
almost kind of hollow though, where it's like you don't
Yes.
have that second person. Because that's your
Yes.
signature card, and we find that out on their next album, their debut full length, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah. A
with
lot
you
of
too
back
though.
and
It's
forth.
yeah, I'm with you too on this one. It's not terrible, but it all just sounds the same, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah. It all feels kind of like just one really long song.
is this song over yet? Oh, this is the fifth song. Oh, okay. Yeah, could have fooled me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I do like the artwork on this one.
Yes. Yeah.
I've
That's some
always
good
liked the
artwork.
artwork on it,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just very,
It's one
just
of
kind of
those like, let's get
bland.
on to the good stuff.
Yeah. And it feels like if this were like I don't know, I wouldn't put this on because I'm like, oh, I like early Senses Fail. I'd be like, I'm gonna listen to Senses Fail because they're way better. Like this just hasn't found its place yet, and they won't find their place, until did you almost spill your
I almost spilled that drink
drink?
vent right on my computer. I was like, oh
Uh,
my God.
careful, careful.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. It's like, I'll just go listen to, Senses Fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's
That's
gotta it's
2000
gotta
and
start somewhere, but
right. Yeah.
it's
Gotta
like
have foundation, but
it's kind of like changing of times a little bit,
mhm,
I mean, we take on a whole nother dynamic and this becomes a completely different band with Spencer Chamberlain at the helm.
right.
I feel like a lot of times when we're talking about a band that, oh yeah, their early album, like they didn't find the sound until, a couple in. Well, a lot of times they're not changing a vocalist. A lot
Right.
of times they're
Yeah.
just swapping out like a guitarist or a bassist
Bases,
or
maybe.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, changing out a vocalist, like those are big
That's
moves.
tough.
And
We've talked,
yeah,
yeah, about say we've talked about that before. It seems to be vocalist is number one, and sometimes drummers, man, seem to be tough just because of the styles, and stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, vocalist is number one. It's like that's okay. You change vocalists. This is make it or break it, And a lot of times, especially if it was, you know, like a Sonny Moore, and then all of a sudden, oh, now he's gone. It's like, oh boy.
yeah.
So
You were saying the drummers, we talked about it on the Symphony in Peril episode, but Stick to Your Guns swapping out their drummer.
mhm.
And that really turned me off. Like, I don't like
Yeah,
the
I
new
remember you
guy's
saying that.
style. Like, yeah, that really ruined the band for me.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. What was his first album? Do you know?
Um, the one after the one they held for COVID. So I don't even know if he's
I thought they only had
recorded.
one. Okay.
Yeah, because George recorded that album.
The one for COVID.
Yeah, because they were holding that for a while.
Let's see. Their newest one. Their newest one is Spectre. Before that was TrueView.
Okay, so he,
That's what
I
I was
guess,
thinking was
hasn't
Spectre.
recorded an album with them.
Wow. Okay. Because
Uh,
George did Spectre. Okay. Still love me TrueView, bro. That's my favorite.
That's your favorite album?
TrueView. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ha!
Huh. I've told you that before.
Interesting.
Why?
I don't know. I've never had somebody tell me that that was their favorite Stick to Your Guns album.
I don't know. I just like it. I mean, I like the one before that too, Diamond. It's a good one too, but I find
Oh, I'm
myself.
sorry. I wasn't thinking of True View. I was
Oh, what are we
thinking
thinking of?
of
Hope
is
Division?
it no that Better
Spectre?
Ash Than Dust EP.
Oh, man. That's an EP. I don't care about an EP.
I know. I don't know why I was
I'm
thinking of
talking
that
full
one.
lengths, bro. No, I'm talking True View, bro. Talking True View, bro.
Yeah, no, True View's solid. There's a lot of really good stuff on there.
Yeah.
I would, I don't know, since we're talking about it, my favorite's
Oh, here we go.
probably,
What's a jazz?
tough. Um, Hope Division,
Yeah.
Diamond.
True View?
I'm gonna say Hope Division and Diamond.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and True View and Disobedient are both really good. I think Disobedience probably kind of the lower tier there. I even
Okay.
really like Comes from the Heart. I don't know if you've ever listened to Comes from the Heart, but
No.
that was the one before Hope Division.
Okay.
Have you listened to Hope Division?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. And then For What It's Worth was before all that, but
Right.
which is still a good album. It's just it's a different band, you know.
Right. Yeah.
10 banana cream pies.
Let's get back on track here, man. Okay, so that was 2003's Aesthetic EP. The band's first EP became an underground success and led to the group touring extensively across the US except for in Oklahoma in support of it opening for Spitalfield and Alexis on Fire. Think about that time, what, 2003? That's that'd be pre-crisis. But that'd be watch out time, probably.
Watch out.
Watch out. Oh. Several months into touring, the band would part ways with bassist Joey Attillion, replacing him with John Weisberg for the rest of the tour and eventually full time. The success from their debut EP caught the eye of Epitaph Records, who would quickly sign the band while still on tour, giving the band the green light to prepare for their debut full length album. But before that could happen, the band would part ways with vocalist Philip Reardon over conflicting interest of creative direction for the band's future. Get out of here, you bum. Get
Get
out
the
of here,
hell
you
out.
bum.
Get out.
Wanting to stick with backing vocals along with playing guitar, Matt Good would be on the hunt for a frontman who could connect with the crowd better than he could. Enter Josh one Sunny Moore. This guy staring me down.
I was gonna say, and
Uh,
who better than a 15-year-old minor?
right. And he was a minor. Did you
Well,
know the
they're all
person you've
like
been
quite a
talking
bit
to is a
older than him.
minor? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Enter one Sonny Moore on vocals, a singer slash guitarist from California who connected with Matt Good through this thing called MySpace. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Josh.
Ah,
The good old days. Connected with Matt Good through a MySpace post from the band's page asking for any and all vocalists to try out for the vacant spot. Originally, Moore was wanting to contribute his guitar work along with backing vocals, but after hearing his demo vocal track on an upcoming song, the band encouraged him to become the lead singer for the group. Now, with the lineup set and a new label to back the group, the band was ready to release upon the world 2004, Dear Diary, my teen angst has a body count from Epitaph Records. Produced once again by Lee Dias, is the only album for bassist John Weisberg. This album, Josh, reached number 12 on the Billboard Heat Seekers album chart and number 21 on the Billboard Independent Albums chart. Do you know where that album title came from, Josh?
no.
The album title is taken from a scene from the 1989 film called Heathers, where Winona Ryder's character logs the phrase into her diary. Dear diary. Who? What?
She says
Never heard of it.
that, Dear Diary, my teen angst has a body count.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
Interesting.
Context is, I don't know. Never seen the movie.
Weird.
Never even heard of the movie. Writer Paul from punktastic.com wrote in his review of the album, quote, from the opening bellow of Kill the Lights in the track The One Arm Boxer versus the Flying Guillotine to the closing rap by Major League Player. This is a record I've fallen in love with. We have too, Matt, Paul. We have too. There are hooks aplenty as Sonny uses his voice well. There's screaming, but it's never overdone and is only used when you need to hear it. The guitars scathe and shred while the drums batter a bloodied corpse of a kid. Note to self is every bit as good, while the awesomely titled Liked You Better Before You Were Naked on the Internet could easily have been a Blink 182 cutting room floor track from their new album. Such is the electronica influence. The dual vocals could be Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge too. That's not to say From First to Last borrow from their contemporaries at all. This is a record that showcases their own talents, and much of them surround Mr. Moore. Oh, Mr. Moore. His vocal talent is astounding, switching from the aggression in featuring some of your favorite words to raw emotion in Emily. When you just think his voice has to crack at some point. Populism 2 and the brutal Kiss Me, I'm Contagious are heavy tracks which still keep lots of melody, allowing From First to Last to switch from bringing on the mosh to having killer choruses that are offset by Sonny's wonderful vocals. For me, it's the closing unnamed track that really shows a band that is trying to be different. The guitars really hammer as the band uses programming over a psychotic and deranged vocal, which eventually ends up in a rap by Major League Player before falling apart in a bellowing Sonny scream and breakdown. Awesome. This is a fantastic record and one for fans of the genre to really get their teeth into. Full marks for at least trying to be different by throwing all kinds of influences into the melting pot for an experiment that could easily have fallen flat. Thankfully for From First to Last, it comes off marvelously. Now, if only they could make it over here. Songs on the album include the instrumental track Soliloquy, the one-armed boxer versus the flying guillotine, Note to Self, I Liked You Better Before You Were Naked on the Internet, featuring some of your favorite words, Emily, Secrets Don't Make Friends, Populous 2, Kiss Me, I'm Contagious, the instrumental track Minute, Ride the Wings of Pestilence, and a hidden track titled Untitled, but sometimes referred to as Dead Baby Kickball, featuring rapper Major League Player. Alrighty, Josh. What do you say? 2004's Dear Diary. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Huh?
Said a lot of nostalgia with this one.
Oh yeah. Oh
Both
yeah.
both good and bad. But
no.
yeah, it's a really good album overall. I will say that I believe this has been tampered with on Spotify.
Yes. Okay. So I think I don't think I know. This is not the OG. This is not the original version because
No.
they've redone it. Because there's some parts of the songs that are like totally different, and you can tell, especially like drum tracking. It's like, yeah, they've redone this. I don't hate it, but it was kind of like, come on, man. Well, this is the thing I hate about um, Spotify sometimes is like it won't keep the original, you know. It'll just like
Right.
replace it. It's like, no, they obviously reissued it or remastered or whatever, redid it, re-recorded. It's like, I want the original and you can go ahead and give me that too. I don't care, but it's like, I want the original. I
Right,
want
yeah.
the thing that
Give
I
me
had as
the
I was a
option
kid,
for
man.
both.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I remember the first time I heard that, I was very disappointed in that. I was like, no, get this garbage out of here. But I started kind of getting used to it. But
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
is disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you too, though, man. A lot of good vibes. Nostalgia brings back a lot of memories, man, from back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Um, man, the way they come in though on I mean, obviously the instrumental track fading into One Arm Boxer, but yeah, that Kill the Lights and just like, oh man, just murdering it on that, and then right into Note to Self. So
Hmm.
good, dude. So good. Um, what song was Oh, Kiss Me, I'm Contagious. That one always made me think of Under Oath song off of Only Chasing Safety. Hold on, let me pull it up here.
It makes me think of "Hang 'Em High" by MCR.
Okay.
Just the
Okay.
Western theme, you know.
Yeah. Um, let's see, what song was it? I don't feel very receptive today. The reason it is because it's like both those songs are like full-fledged, like screaming. Now obviously there's some singing in Kiss Me I'm Contagious, but it's feels more like driven and like heavy scream throughout,
Yeah.
kind of like the Under Oath song too.
We
And then go ahead, yeah.
There's only, they only have like three music videos through this block of albums that we're
What
talking about.
well no what no tears oh
The,
okay yeah.
there's
No,
Note
yeah,
to
I got you.
Self, Ride
Ride
the
the
Wings of
Wings
Pestilence,
and
and
then
Latest
Latest
Plague.
Plague. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, do you like, I know you like Note to Self.
Oh yeah.
You like the concept of it, right? The fact
Yeah.
that it's like
Yeah.
the old man who's like seeing himself and like all those memories and stuff.
Right.
And
Yep.
but what about Ride the Wings of Pestilence?
I was gonna go back and watch it, but I didn't get a chance to. And then like they're like playing kind of in like the desert or something like that, or like a
Yeah,
wasteland town or something.
and the best versions you can find, they had to kind of crop it a little bit, so it's
Yeah.
not, you kind
I
of
hate
miss some
that,
stuff,
man. Yeah.
but the original dude looks like fucking horrible, man. Like it looks so bad.
What?
So, because it's
Is it
just the
like
quality, like
240
right, yeah, it's
version of YouTube?
looks like really rough.
The
Well,
grainiest thing
think, bro,
ever.
like we were watching, this is long
Oh,
before YouTube. We were watching this on like Yahoo videos.
yeah. I wonder if you can still like find it on like Epitaph Records, like their website.
But it's
Probably
just
not.
them playing in that like
What the heck is this?
it's like a little, I don't know, desert town.
What? I'm sorry. What has happened? Me and Eric have talked about this before, but it's like, what the heck has happened to Epitaph Records, dude?
What do you mean?
They are just garbage now. The bands that they have on
Give me
there
some
are just
garbage. Tell me some garbage.
garbage.
The band Garbage?
The band Garbage is on there. Well, so
I
this
kind of like
first,
garbage.
okay, so I mean, I went straight to their website and the front page, get off of there, you stupid thing. Their front page is, I think they're doing like a bunch of like rap hip hop artists now. God dang it, you stupid thing. I just want to see the front page. And the first thing is like, it's somebody called NASCAR Allo. It's like this dude with like,
Ah, NASCAR Aloe, of
yeah,
course.
I don't know what's happening there, man. But we were looking at it not too long ago, and I think there's some like rappers kind of mixed in there. I mean, there's still some good stuff on here. Like, I don't know if they're really still, and this is another thing too. I don't know if some of these guys are actually still like tied to Epitaph Records or not. Kind of like what we had seen
Right.
before
Like
with
how
Victory
current is
Records.
that?
Right. But like their list here has got like Pianos Become the Teeth, Parkway Drive, um, Lotus View was on here. But then you got like Falling in Reverse, and you know how far that one's gone. Um, Dang, what was that other one? I know there was some other
they got
ones on
pianos
here
become the
that were,
teeth?
yeah.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah, Touche Amore on here too. I forgot about that. And Thrice is
Oh,
on here now.
they're really all over the
Uh,
place.
yeah, what the heck? Anyway, that was a sidetrack. Um, the one thing that I'm gonna go ahead and give you a this is my I definitely have this block. I haven't listened to anything past Heroin, so I don't know anything about their newest stuff or their
I
last
really
three
haven't
albums.
either. I think I listened to the self-title one time, but I've not listened to any of the rest of it.
But so overall, at least right now, Dear Diary is going to take the cake for me. It's my favorite, hands down. Nothing better.
Yeah,
They start to lose me on Heroin.
for sure. It starts to get more digital, and I was
Yeah,
thinking even when I listened to it that like because these are two albums that I needed to listen to through one time, just
right,
like I know these albums.
right.
Um and yeah, listening through to Heroin, I kind of thought, well, that kind of ran out quick because I don't know, with the kind of music that they put out, how many albums can you put out that are like Dear Diary,
Right.
And
Yeah.
he's already, by the time Heroin comes around, he's already starting to mentally shift. You know,
Yeah.
he's starting to become the artist formerly known as Skrillex.
Skrillex.
So I feel like that digital turn is starting to be made a little bit.
Well, so one of my biggest beefs though is and you mentioned it earlier, the whole deal that really made Dear Diary was the dual vocals, the back and forth, the answering and the calling from time to time.
Yeah,
It's like it's straight up Sunny on Heroin. And I
yeah,
don't have anything against Sunny, but it's like Matt Good is a big part of From First to Last, his vocals.
right.
And I hate the fact that it's like he's either hidden way in the background, maybe, or it's like there's just like nothing at all. And I'm like, that's not From First to Last, dude. But that's just me.
There is, I mean, I think it's in,
There's a few. I know for
yeah,
sure uh Goodbye Waves, he's in that. They
yeah.
do a
Okay.
big, but it's
I don't,
95% Sunny Moore
was that
on that
song
album.
originally titled Goodbye Waves? Because in my head, it was Waves Goodbye.
As far as I know, it was Goodbye Waves.
This is going to be the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia
Yeah, I was going to say, what's
incident.
the or the Sinbad and what's
Shazam
that?
or Shazam.
Shazam, yeah, or
Yeah.
whatever, yeah. What is the what
Well,
the
that one is just racism, Curtis, because people couldn't tell the difference between two black guys. Because I was just talking
that's
about that
pretty
the other
sad
day.
because
We were
Sinbad and
listing
Shaq are
like
two different guys, right?
right. We were joking about that and listing, different Mandela things. And then somebody mentioned that one and I was like, no, no, no. I was like, hold on. I knew that was Shaq. I was like, I remember it as Shaq, I was like, it's not my fault that people just couldn't tell the difference between two black guys, okay?
Oh man. Some racist saw their chance, like, hey, I'm gonna slip this in here.
I'll slip this one in. Yeah, that one I'm like, that one doesn't fit. Come
No,
on.
no, no. What do you think of? Oh wait, no. Let me get. You have a favorite song on this album? Don't tell me. Don't
Uh,
tell me.
don't tell you?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
do, do
Yeah,
you?
I mean, it's probably like a two-way split for me.
Okay. Is it Ride the Wings of Pestilence?
No.
What? See, I thought you used to be really big on that one. I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
I probably wore this CD that I had completely out. Like from
Yeah,
how
it
much
had a
I
lot of
listened to
scratches
this
on it. Trust
album.
me.
Like, yeah.
I can remember there being some like.
Yeah.
Nope, 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 nope to self. Yeah.
One arm boxer
And note to self.
and no, and Emily.
Really? Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Hmm. 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 What do you think of the hidden track? Dead baby.
I think it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
I
That's a
think it's so
classic, dude.
funny. Yeah, I
That's
don't
a
mind it at
classic.
all.
Dum 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 dum. Yeah, that's a classic, dude.
Yeah, don't
This
mind it.
album is a classic. Ah, I can't tell you how many times I went through the three albums, and I'm kind of like you too. It's like this one and then Heroin. I only really needed once because I already knew them. But it's like once I got done, I was like, well, because I'm gonna go back and listen to Dear Diary about 1,000 times because I hadn't listened to it in a long time. And I was like, yes, this is good, man. It's good vibes here. So, alrighty, that is 2004's Dear Diary, My Teen Angst has a body count. Success from their debut full length album sent the band soaring like a rocket ship into the emo genre stratosphere. Supporting their new album on tour across the US, the band would also have the opportunity to participate in the 2005 Dead by Dawn tour with bands Emmanuel, Halifax, and He Is Legend. During 2005, while on tour, Sonny Moore would be forced to undergo his first of two vocal cord surgeries. God, it hurts me every time I hear about that. And then, like, man, listening to his vocals on, especially Dear Diary, it's like, oh God, it's not sustainable, bro. It's not sustainable.
No.
Later, due to internal conflicts, the band would ask John Weisberg on bass to leave. Get out of here. Get the hell out of
Get
here.
the hell out of here.
For the time being, the band would carry on as a four-piece minus a bass player. This would not stop the band from quickly preparing for their follow-up to their debut album, 2006's Heroin from Epitaph Records, produced by Ross Robinson. We've talked about him before. He has done work with Norma Jean, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, and many, many others. This is the final album for vocalist Sonny Moore, and it features one Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit in the vacant bass spot. His album peaked at number 25 on the Billboard 200, selling 33,000 copies in its first week of sales and 232,000 copies just 2 years later. This was received with mostly positive reviews as Corey Apar of AllMusic.com awarded the album 3.5 stars out of 5, saying, quote, Heroin not only reveals distinctly stronger and more confident vocals, but also finds the band placing a greater emphasis on more intricate song arrangements, choosing to highlight The Latest Plague, World War Me, and Waltz More as his track picks on the album. While Absolute Punk also gave the album a generally positive review, saying, quote, gritty as hell, full of obscenities and soaring sing-along choruses, from first to last has successfully transformed their sound. And Drowned in Sound awarded the album 7 out of 10 stars, saying that, quote, while the sublime irony and overblown satire of their debut was lost on some, the quartet have refused to make the same mistake with Heroin. And that, quote, while vocalist Sonny Moore's lyrics still leave much to be desired, he still portrays a real sense of emotion with his vocal style. Songs on this album include Mother Sound, The Latest Plague, and We All Have Hell, Afterbirth, World War Me, Shame Shame, The Crows Are Coming For Us, The Levee, Goodbye Waves, or maybe Waves Goodbye, Waltz More, the finale track Heroin, and a bonus track Save Us. One thing that I, I like Sonny Moore as a vocalist and lyricist, his voice, I don't know if it's just kind of like a production thing too, with like the reverb or something. His voice sounds really kind of whiny at times on this album. Is that just me?
I think it's purposeful.
Okay.
I think he's doing that on purpose.
Okay. Another
He's
question
always
for you. Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
he's always been that very thematic
Yeah.
vocalist, you know, or theatrical
Right.
vocalist.
I
And
just feel like he turned it up a little more from Dear
yes, he
Diary,
definitely
though.
did. He definitely did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, is there something I feel like there was a story though to like the album title and everything. Like, did he have some drug problems?
Not that I was aware of.
Okay, okay. I was starting to think of it earlier in the week and I was like, wait a minute. Did he have an addiction to heroin? I don't know.
I always
But I don't
thought it was
remember
heroin, like the
like
Silverstein
a
heroin, like a
right,
female
okay.
hero, you know?
Right, yeah. I think I was just kind of gaslighting myself.
Well, probably.
He was a drug addict.
Yeah, not that I was aware of.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he had problems with his voice, and that was yeah, I mean the lyrics to heroin is him talking about his mom.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think this has anything to do with drugs.
Okay. Well, I just like I said, I didn't think it was, but all of a sudden in the middle of the week, I was like, wait, did Josh tell me? It's kind of like it kind of makes me think of when we did MCR and we talked about was his name Matt, the original drummer,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like why he got kicked out, but I couldn't find anything on it. But then we were both like convinced it was like, yeah, it was because he had like some drinking problems, or whatever,
Yeah.
and it was affecting him. But anyway, yeah. Mandela. Uh Um, so are you so-so on this album or
I
what? What
used to
what
really love it.
I was thinking you were a big fan of heroin.
Yeah, I used to really yeah, I've always been a big fan of heroin.
That's one of those is like it came out of my mouth and it was like, ah. I know
Um,
you, Josh.
yeah, you know me, you know me.
It's on record. It's
Um,
on the recording. Oh
they
God, I love heroin.
I would keep, I only had 6 slots in the old CD changer
Oh,
in the
the old
trunk.
GMC, man. Yep.
So I had to be very careful in my picks.
hmm
And Dear Diary and Heroin both stayed in there pretty consistently.
hmm Didn't
So
you have some problems for a while there where like some CDs got stuck in
yeah,
there?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, towards the end, it was not working well.
Yeah. But that was good. Those some good times.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, I think once again we can throw a music review in the garbage where it belongs. I mean, just looking at Spotify, there's only a 2-year difference in these albums. One of them
Mm,
isn't brand new, and the other one's their first album. Both
right.
these albums have been out for almost 20 years. One of them has.
Right.
So the difference, though, in plays is pretty
Ooh.
substantial.
Oof. I didn't even look at that. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah,
I
that's a big difference.
I don't think fans of From First to Last received Heroin as well as the guy writing the article did.
Dang, I tell you what, nobody wanted to listen to that Soliloquy intro track on Dear Diary. Good night. They're like, nope, get to the next one.
Yeah, that is weird.
I mean, I get it's only 26 seconds, but it's still kind of a good intro track to. Anyway, sorry, that
Yeah.
was sidetracked.
Suck the life from my voice and breathe it back into yourselves.
I mean, that's important to the story, bro.
And then kill the lights.
Kill the lights. Yeah,
Da
you
da,
definitely got
da
a
da 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 da, da da da.
definitely got a big jump from Mother Sound at 666,000 to uh almost 2 million plays on Latest Plague, back down to 639,000 on it, and We All Have Hell. And then
Yeah,
it does the closest it gets to Latest Plague again is Shame Shame with 714,000. So yeah, not good.
yeah,
Not good.
not great.
No.
So yeah, I don't think this album was as well received as people think.
Right.
I was also kind of surprised to see that they still have almost 500,000 listeners every month. That was kind of surprising.
Yeah, I don't know, especially for a band that hasn't put out an album since 2015.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Sonny came back for a while there and there was a lot of hype. They're like, oh, and they put out like a couple of singles, I think, with him.
yeah.
And there was like some hype of like, oh, they're probably gonna come back and I mean, this is gonna be like old times. But then like
Oh,
I don't think
God.
he's even a part of them anymore. And I think last I had heard, like Matt Good was like, yeah, we've wrote some songs, but God knows if they're ever gonna see the light of day. It's like, oh, that's terrific.
Encouraging.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, this
Good.
is Heroin's kind of a weird album.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did really like it. I did used to really enjoy this album. I think Mother sounds good. Latest Plague feels kind of tacky.
Yeah.
Um,
Almost radio play
yeah,
like. Yeah.
I did used to like it, but it just feels kind of tacky
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I still like We All Have a Hell. Um, World War Me. I think The Levee has long been my favorite song on
Okay.
this album.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
But yeah, there's a lot of good ones on here. There's just a couple that are really they're a little cringy in retrospect,
Tacky.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't like Waltz more. Um, I'm gonna feel really bad if he wrote it specifically for like people with eating disorders or something, but like it feels like just a super like oh, it feels like the most emo thing anyone ever wrote, honestly. You know?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to like it when you first start off as like, yeah, I can't eat anything without shoving my hands down my throat. It's like,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it continues. And I refuse to meet the
Refuse to
world
meet the
without
world.
smearing on makeup, with my hair blinding my eyes. Oh, blinding
Oh, blinding
my
my
eyes.
eyes. Your eyes.
I can't remember the last time I've seen my own eyes. He says that again. Or the color of my skin. Do you know what it's like to feel ugly all the time? I stretch myself across the world, pushing limits for your entertainment. And you had the nerve to call out my weakness and drag me through the dirt. Is this about somebody like talking shit to him online? This is what this sounds like.
Probably so.
Yeah,
Just go
there's
kill
just a couple
yourself.
tracks like that. Latest Plague, Waltz More that just do not hold
It's like,
up. But there's some good
cringe.
ones. I love to hear Matt on Waves or God, Goodbye Waves.
Goodbye waves, waves goodbye, whichever one.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all good.
But it's a weird shift for them, and I remember wondering like when that album came out, like where is this going though?
You
You
have to
know,
ask the question, right? You have to.
like both these albums have been so different from each other.
Mhm.
Where's it going after this?
Yeah.
And the answer was nowhere because Sonny decided to become
Peace.
Skrillex. Yeah.
I'm gonna go do Skrillex stuff. Yeah.
When I was watching one of their music videos, the recommended video below
No, no.
it was called The Rise, Then Fall, Then Rise of Skrillex. And then it said like the just the words on the video were he ruined music in a quote.
Oh my gosh.
I was just
What?
like, oh man, that's brutal.
Dang, was this like some trash? Like they're hating on him, I guess, or whatever?
I mean, that was just somebody's quote. I mean, the video was
Oh,
called The Rise, Then Fall, Then Rise of Skrillex.
this is an actual like documentary or something?
It was just I'm sure just
Some
somebody
like mockumentary or whatever.
recounting what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Huh. Sounds familiar. Uh we don't do that at all on our podcast.
Nope.
No, not at all. No, no. Alrighty, anything else for 2006's heroin?
I don't think so. I always liked a lot
Uh,
of the art for this one though. Dear Diary also had some kind of cool art stuff in their fold out. because they had like a big one
I
that
remember,
was like
yeah.
a yeah
Wasn't it like a big like map almost type, like the fold out
yeah
wise. It
yeah
wasn't
yeah.
just like a booklet. It was like a
Yeah.
yeah.
And then Heroin also had some kind of cool art in there, but
Nice.
I don't think really anything else. I mean, there's a lot of nostalgia attached to this band for me and for
Right.
these two albums in particular. But going back and looking at them, it's like there's not a lot here.
They're
Like
very
there's
simplistic.
yes, there's nothing like that profound
Right.
about this band.
Nothing groundbreaking or anything.
Yeah.
They had their time and now it's gone.
Yeah. Some of the bands we talk about, that first album where they really find their feet, you're like, wow,
Mhm.
they're defining a genre. Like when, we talk about Zayo, like
Right.
literally laying the foundations for at least one genre, if not multiple.
Right.
So that's a little more revolutionary. They're not doing anything that isn't already being done at this time. They're just kind of putting their own spin on it. And, it gives your band a lot more character and makes it a lot more interesting when you have somebody like Sonny Moore at the helm.
Right.
So, I just, it's a, it's a bread sandwich,
Mm,
but we love a bread sandwich.
Drums. Alrighty, Wes Borland would participate on several tours after recording Heroin with the band in the absence of a bassist, and actually had plans to help write their next album, but due to his other projects, he was unable
He's
to.
busy. He's a
He's
busy
busy. I'm a
man.
busy man. What do you want from me?
He's got the
Who's that?
biscuit.
Hold on a second. Biscuit's on the phone.
Yeah.
Go, Biscuit.
Hold on, guys. The grown-ups are on the phone.
There you go.
The
In
millionaires.
support, in support of their latest release, the band would tour on the Black Clouds and Underdogs tour along with Fall Out Boy, Hawthorne Heights, and All American Rejects. Not a bad lineup. Not a
That's
bad
pretty
lineup.
good, especially for what year did you say that was?
I was going to say in 2006, oh six, oh
Oh, okay.
seven, time.
That's
So that'd
great.
be, I'm about to say, that
That's
would be a
From Under the
great
Cork
time period,
Tree
man.
for Fall Out Boy. That is
If only you were lonely ish time. I think it'd
yeah,
be in
it
between.
would be.
It'd be in between.
I'm pretty sure If Only You Were Lonely was 2006.
It was seven.
It was 7? Okay.
Mhm.
And then that would have been Dirty Little Secret, right?
I
For All
think
American
you're
Rejects. Or wait, no, what
right.
was the name of
No,
that album?
I'm about to say, what's the one before? Isn't it the one with the swimming pool? The empty swimming pool?
No, that one was pretty early. That's
Are
like
you sure? Okay.
that one's like 2003, 2003
Okay.
or maybe 4.
Okay.
God, what is the name of that album? That's driving me crazy. I
Hey,
can
they're
see
still
it. It's
going.
white.
Alrighty, let's see here. It would be Move Along.
Move
Yeah,
along.
it's just
Okay.
like it's wide and it's all four of them
Yeah,
standing, not moving anywhere.
not moving along.
Oh, the one. Wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who am I thinking of? Okay, I'm thinking of some other band.
No, the one
I'm
year
thinking
I
of.
thought you were talking about the one with the lawnmower.
Yeah, but you know what band I'm thinking of is
What?
uh Switchfoot.
Oh my God.
Beautiful letdown.
Oh my God.
The empty swimming pool with the guitar in it.
Wow.
Classic. That was 2003. Man, wow, that's a throwback.
hmm
Okay. After their contract had run out with Epitaph Records, the band would find themselves in the middle of a record label bidding war. Not a bad place to be. Not a bad
No.
place to be. Eventually, the band would sign with Capitol Records. Later, they would accept an invite to play the 2006 Warp Tour, but would have to drop out after vocalist Sonny Moore would be forced to have a second surgery on his vocal cords. Get your stuff together, bro. Get your vocal cords together. After more, well, let me back up. We've talked about this before. At this time period in this genre of music and everything, when you're doing the screaming, there's no control. There's no you need to do it this way to purloin.
It's all
we've talked about before.
force.
It's all force. Who can do it the gnarliest and throw all caution to the wind? Don't worry about your future. Don't worry about your vocal cords. Who gives a crap? After Moore had recovered, the band would go out on the World Championship Tour with Atreyu, Every Time I Die, and Chiodos. But once again, Josh, Moore would have to leave tour due to trouble with his vocal cords. Now, at first, the band thought of splitting vocals between Good and Richer, but Craig Owens of tour mates Chiodos insisted he help the band out by performing in Moore's spot. Kind of an interesting little spot there for
That would be weird.
Craig Owens. But to Atreyu, the headliner of the tour, this was not satisfactory.
Thank you, Atreyu, because that sounds
Yeah.
like nonsense. Like, honestly, it sounds like nonsense.
They forced the band to leave tour, stating, quote, they couldn't perform as from first to last and are no longer on this tour. Okay. I mean, way to flex your muscle there to trade.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if they needed to kick them off, but I would like to have seen one of them been like, huh? Like, what?
What? In a statement to their fans from First to Last, commented
That
on the
is weird.
release.
This kind of stuff happens, and people from other bands fill in and stuff. It is. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, getting
That's
kicked
nuts.
off for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of wonder because we're talking about probably what this is probably 2007, 2008-ish when this happens. And I'm trying to think of like Atreyu at that time. I mean, they're
Death
starting
Grip on
to.
Yesterday.
Okay.
So they're big dicking.
Yeah, I was about to say they're probably pulling it out and slapping it on the table right now.
Oh man.
In a statement to their fans from First to Last, commented on their release of tour, saying, quote, our plan was to enable us to play the rest of tour was disregarded. And as our crew was setting up for the show in Worcester, Massachusetts, we were informed that we were being kicked off the tour. Understand that was not our choice to leave this tour. We were forced to leave. Gun to your head, get the hell out. Being away from the band during the tour gave Moore time to decide what his future with the group looked like. In February 2007, an announcement would be made telling fans that Sonny Moore had left the band for the safety of his voice and to pursue a solo career. What started as a solo act turned into a group called, have you heard of this before, Josh? Sonny and the Blood Monkeys.
No.
Ugh. That's okay.
Sonny
Forget about
and
it.
the Blood Monkeys.
And the Blood Monkeys.
No.
Yeah. That's okay because it doesn't matter. That project would be quickly disposed of in favor of what Josh some say would be one of the greatest musical projects known to man.
Who says that?
I'm talking about Skrillex. Man.
Nobody said that.
Nobody
one's
says
ever
that.
uttered
It was
those
all
words.
sarcastic, bro. Yeah. So, yeah. Due to the uncertainty of the remaining members of the band's future and lack of financial backing from Capitol Records, would be forced to drop the band, leaving the group questioning if this was the end.
Is this the end? Is this the end for us? Probably should be. Probably should be.
Our current lineup is 3 members.
Don't do
members,
it.
Josh.
Don't do it.
Matt
Stop.
Good.
Are you
on
Alkaline
vocals.
Trio? No? Stop. Stop it
Matt
right now.
Good on
Are you
vocals
following
and
Troy?
guitar.
Don't do it. You can
You
go
done?
now.
Okay. Travis Richer on guitar and drummer Derek Bloom. That's where we're going to leave it off for this episode. We'll finish off the last 3 albums. I mean, do they have a future? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. Who knows if they're going to do 3 more albums?
I don't want to listen to these next 3 albums.
I'm just kind of interested more about that last one than anything, hearing like a new vocalist.
Who is that guy?
I don't know. I didn't recognize his name. Stay
to know if
tuned in the
he's
next
been with
episode,
anybody
man.
else.
Yeah, I know. Alrighty. Any final
Because,
thoughts on this first block, Josh? Nope.
well, I was gonna say that because if it's any, if he has some credibility, I will at
Right.
least say, we talked about Suicide Silence earlier. I'll at least say that what's his face from All Shall Perish. I always
Eddie.
forget his name. Yeah. He's at least got credibility, Like he
Right.
had a long run in All Shall Perish. Like he's a great vocalist. I just don't want to hear anybody besides Mitch Luker with them.
Right.
Um, so I mean that could help the cause. If this guy on the newest From First to Last album is a nobody, then why do I care? But
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Even better.
oh
Uh,
God.
um,
I know that look on your face. This is gonna be
well,
horrible.
it's not because of you, it's because of me. It's Spencer Sotelo. Does that name sound familiar?
A little bit.
Of the band of the band who are friends with our podcast, Perry Ferry.
Oh, Berry Fairy.
So
Oh, Perfer.
oh, periphery.
He
I
was
forgot about
the
that.
he was the vocalist for Periphery.
I think he still is.
Interesting. Is he also the vocalist for
Yeah.
the Holy Guile?
Let's
Because the
see.
Holy Guile is like a split
Do.
off of
Ooh.
Periphery. It was like a side
Probably,
project.
I would. Well, okay. If it's just a side project, maybe. I was gonna say I would assume not, since he's still in the band. But let's see. No, it just says From First to Last, Periphery, and King Mothership
Hmm.
are the bands that he's in. What's the band called that you said?
The
Holy
Holy
Guile.
Guile. Yeah.
Let's see.
I think they only had like one or two albums.
While I'm looking that up, what do you what's your thoughts on this first block of From First to Last?
I
Final
mean,
thoughts.
it's definitely the best one, but we're up and down here, over
How do you
three
spell
albums.
guile?
Guile.
Yl. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, we're gonna.
There's definitely I mean, I can't even say definitively because I haven't heard the rest of it, I guess.
No, it is. Trust me.
But it's got to be the strongest block, right? I'm saying right now, I'm not even gonna give the rest of it the time of day. This is my favorite.
Right.
Um, but it's a little all over the place. And
I
three
think you're.
albums.
I think you were thinking of Saad Ahmed, who's the vocalist in the Crimson Armada.
Oh,
That's
okay.
who
Is
started
is
Holy Guile.
Misha in Holy Guile?
No, it looks like it's Andrew Baxter, Cody Armstrong, Ryan McGee, and Saad
Okay.
Ahmed.
Okay. Hmm.
Holy Guile.
Um, Oh yeah, these three albums are just kind of all over the place. The first one has a completely different vocalist, a totally different sound. It's like early 2000s, kind of emo core. It sounds like Senses Fail. Then Dear Diary, I feel like that's where they really, found what worked for them at the time. Then
Right.
for whatever reason, we make this shift over to Heroin, which feels a little bit more digital, feels a little bit darker. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a band who, while I love them a lot, have a lot of nostalgia for them, they never really knew exactly what they were going
And
for.
never popped.
Yeah,
Just never. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah.
yeah.
Alrighty. It'll be interesting in the next episode. See what we can get, what we come up with.
See how far this falls.
Yeah. See if we can complete all three albums all the way through.
I mean, you're almost
Alrighty.
listening to a different band,
Right.
from this point
Mhm.
on. And if you can look at it that way,
We have
maybe it will
experience in
be
that.
more acceptable.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Let's
That's
try
probably
it
what
that
they
way,
should. That's
Curtis.
probably what they should have done. Just
Let's
start
try it
over.
that way. This
Start
from
over.
here on, they're called first to last.
That's what I was gonna say.
And,
They're just first to last. Now.
Yeah, let's just let's look at it like a new band.
New band. It's new band. It's new band. It's new band. All right, let's get on out of here, Josh. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at @IsSurvivedByPro for news and the latest episode postings, not just on this show, but our other shows as well. We have the History of the Chorus After Hours podcast, where I sit down with my good friend and avid listener of this very podcast right here, Eric, and we discuss some of the bands me and Josh have already talked about. We actually have 2 new episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks. Would you like to know who they're about, Josh? Would you like a little tease? Oh, yes, he would. All right. The first one is about a life once lost.
Nice.
Very nice. The second one is about the handshake murders.
Okay, so this is going to be
Nice.
probably first time for Eric,
Yes.
unless he listened to them after the original episodes.
Well, the originals, yeah. Yeah. He follows along with the originals, so he's already listened to them before, but yeah, so be on the lookout for that in the next couple of weeks. We also have the Red Right Hand podcast, which has covered all 6 seasons of the BBC/Netflix hit show, The Peaky Blinders.
So far.
So far. Fingers crossed.
We're coming back.
And there's also the Throne of the Dragon podcast, which so far has covered season 1, soon to be season 2 of
So
HBO's
soon.
House of the Dragon. I can feel
I'm
it on
just-
the doorstep.
I'm just going to be like Randy Marsh in that first episode when the internet goes out.
Oh boy. And right now we are doing our chapter by chapter of Fire and Blood. So be on the lookout for a brand new episode of that.
We can't get enough. We're
You can't,
target
no, we're target I don't know what you are, but I'm not.
You're like, I don't
'Cause
know
that
what
just
that
sounds
is,
weird.
but no.
All right, so Josh really likes heroin and he's a targophile. Okay. We've learned so much tonight. Also, while you're on Twitter, make sure to follow my co-host at Joshua Lynn Gary. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on whatever podcast service you're using. And if you want to listen to us and see our smiling faces, head on over to our YouTube page. Just search Is Survived By Productions, and that'll have every episode from all of our shows. Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video. All right, we will see you in part 2 of First to Last, because it's a different band. Isn't that right, Josh?
Yep, different band.
It's a different band.
Clean
called
slate.
First to Last. Wiping the slate clean. We're here to bury the hatchet.
Bury the hatchet.
All righty, until then, we will see you.